Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I've got another transfer update video. I haven't done one of these for a long time, but I thought there was some good bits of news that have come from today. So I decided to do a video. So let's get straight into the news. So as you can see, the first story, it comes from the Times, and they're reporting that Tottenham are in talks to sign Denmark defender Jannik Vestergaard, of course, of Southampton. They're saying he's got 1 year left on his contract. There was talk that Southampton value him at around £70 million. Now, of course, last summer, Spurs signed another Danish player from Southampton. They signed Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Of course, he had 1 year left in his contract, and Southampton were very unhappy with the way that we kind of went about signing him. We obviously got him for a very good price of around £50 million. So Southampton are kind of looking to sell Vestergaard abroad. Now, he's one of the options that we're looking at. They also say that we're looking at Joachim Andersen from Fulham, who's another Danish defender. But of course, Vestergaard, he's 28 years old. He is starting for the Danish national team. He's one of the guys that's probably going to be lining up against England in the semi-finals of the European Championships on Wednesday. So he's obviously a very talented defender, but they do also note that Fabio Paratici, of course, Spurs' new sporting director, he likes to be in talks with a number of different players for one position. So I think we'll see a lot of links to different central defenders. They do also note Spurs want to sign 2 central defenders. So it'll be interesting to see who we go for. But obviously, Jannik Vestergaard's clearly a target, as in Joachim Andersen. So it'll be interesting to see who Spurs go for. Of course, as you can see here, some of the Spurs players have been talking about the new manager, Nuno Espirito Santo, coming into the club. Harry Kane's the first one, and I thought these are really positive comments from him. He says he's a great manager, did a great job at Wolves and got them playing really good football. Let's get back, and I'm sure we'll be in contact after the tournament. So it's fairly positive from Harry Kane. Of course, with the talk about him wanting to potentially leave, Dele Alli as well. He said he's done a great job at Wolves, and I'm looking forward to speaking to him and working with him. He's a great manager, and it's exciting time. So obviously, both players, I don't think they're going to particularly say anything negative about the new manager, but they obviously seem fairly excited about him. Of course, they know him from his time at Wolves, having played against him. And of course, he did do well in his first 2 years in the Premier League at Wolves. So I'm sure they'll see lots of positives about him, but it'll be interesting to see how it influences Harry Kane's decision in terms of wanting to stay or wanting to leave. So that'd be interesting. And of course, with Dele Alli, under Mourinho, it really didn't work for him. So it'd be interesting to see him under a new manager like Nuno, especially a guy who's kind of more like Poch in terms of how he handles players. So I think that Nuno will definitely benefit Dele Alli. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Harry Kane's also been speaking about Fabio Paratici. Now, Paratici last night was talking on Sky Italia, and he was saying it was full of praise for Harry Kane and saying that Tottenham wanted to keep him. And then Harry Kane's kind of responded that today on TalkSport. He said, I heard Paratici wanted me to stay at Tottenham, and of course, as a player, you want to be wanted. You want to feel like you're loved. It's nice to hear it, and it gives me motivation. I'm sure we'll get to know each other after the Euros. So I thought, again, really, really positive comment from Harry Kane. Talking about Paratici and potentially wanting to stay. I think those two comments that we've just seen from Kane on Nuno and Paratici are very positive, and we'll, of course, hopefully we want to see him stay. Hopefully this summer he can kind of fill his trophy ambitions by winning the European Championships. I'm sure he'll still want to win club competitions, but I think the Euros would go a long way to kind of really kind of settling him down. So hopefully he has a good summer with England, and he comes back and he has some positive contact with Paratici and Nuno, and we'll see Harry Kane stay at the club. Now, Dele Alli did an interview with Gold today. It was an exclusive interview, and I thought it was really good. It was really positive comments from Dele Alli, who's kind of really sounding very mature. And of course, over the last few years, he's had a very difficult couple of seasons. So we desperately want to see Dele Alli somehow get back on track, and he sounds very motivated from the interview, which is great to see. He's been working very hard on holiday, that he's been saying. He didn't feel as though he's needed a rest. He's been, as I said, working really hard during his break. And then they, of course, say that I want to make this year one of the best I've had. It's been a tough few years. I've been working hard and analysing what I need to get better. And then he did also say during the interview that obviously he had fantastic potential. Talking about getting back to his best, but he said he wants to surpass that even. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to Dele Alli. Of course, as I said, under a new manager like Nuno, I think there's potential that he could flourish. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens to Dele Alli next season, and hopefully we get to see the best of him. So here are two very positive stories from The Athletic. They kind of run a story today on Nuno coming to the club. Firstly, they start by saying the Tottenham players are very happy to hear Nuno's positivity. Of course, as I said, I think he's very different to Mourinho in terms of the way that he treats players. Of course, Mourinho was very, very hard on the players. Now Nuno will be very much the opposite, be more like Pochettino. So That'll be interesting. Pre-season starts today. This was on Monday, and the squad are keen to knuckle down and impress the new boss. So that's all very positive. Then, of course, they go on to say that Spurs were undercoached last season under Mourinho. They also felt their fitness side of the game was neglected. The squad want to get back to being peak physical shape. I remember speaking to a Manchester United fan kind of last season, and he was very much warning this was something that he kind of associated with Manchester United. The players were always very unfit, and that was something that Mourinho really neglected. He tried to get the players fit by himself, and it just didn't seem to work. So that's obviously something that we'll need to improve. And I think we kind of saw that last year where we were unable to hold on to leads. And I think that maybe does come down to kind of the physical asset to not being able to last as long as other teams. I mean, against Leeds in the second half, we were just completely outplayed. I think against Aston Villa, again in the second half, completely outplayed. So I think we just run out of steam towards the end of the season and even Christmas onwards. So be interesting to see kind of how the players get on when they become fitter and under a new different regime. So I'm interested to see how this all pans out. Now, the final story is regarding Harry Winks, and Manchester United have inquired about signing Harry Winks. They're looking for a midfielder. However, they have a number of options that are ahead on that list above Harry Winks. So I think it's very unlikely that we'll see Harry Winks move to Manchester United, but he is a potential target. I think there's Aston Villa, a club that have also been linked with him. I think Manchester City even have been linked with him, but I think it's very unlikely we'll see Harry Winks go to a kind of a real top club. I can potentially see him going to an Aston Villa, but of course they have to meet our valuation, and be interesting to see kind of where Spurs set their valuations at this year. Are they going to be more realistic? I think in the past, Spurs have been very unrealistic in terms of what they've been asking for. So Harry Winks for me is a guy that really needs to move on. He needs to go and get game time somewhere else. He's clearly not kind of the level that Spurs want, and he doesn't really seem to fit into kind of the way Spurs have been. Maybe he might fit under a Nuno system, but I think we'll have to wait and see. But for me, Harry Winks is a guy I'd like to see moved on, and as Manchester United is a potential option, they've asked about him. So I'm interested to see kind of what Harry Winks' future will happen with him this summer. Thanks for watching this update video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video. Please subscribe to my channel. It would really help out if you can kind of subscribe. That really does help a lot. I hope you did enjoy the video, and come on, you Spurs.